All right, so this use case comes from one of our energy customers. And what they do is they do receive messages from a trading partner where it'll include like equipment type information, and they'll need to go ahead and update their project management system. And what happens is that this JSON data that they can receive can be malformed. And it's because in the source system, you've got someone that's actually typing values in, and they can start to do things like include quotes or slashes that need to be escaped. And so, what this agent is going to do is to perform an automatic repair and resubmit, because otherwise, what they do today is they have to have someone manually go ahead and perform these tasks. So, what will happen is the message will be received, it'll try to be processed against the project management system. If there's invalid JSON, this message will be put into a dead letter queue where the agent loop will go ahead and dequeue the message from there. Now, as part of this business process, we need to make sure that we log all of the activities in the ITSM tool, which is ServiceNow. So we will go ahead and use tools such as log a ticket, update a ticket, close a ticket. We will also perform functions such as fix the payload, and we're going to leverage the AI model to go do that. Now, we also want to ensure, though, that what the AI model is doing is actually valid. So we're going to go ahead and also have a tool that will validate the JSON payload, because we certainly don't want to get in a situation where we are resubmitting a logic app that has invalid JSON and we get into an endless loop. Now, once all of this process is complete, we want to notify the team using Microsoft Teams to communicate exactly what took place. So here I am in my agent, and let's take a look at the prompt. So you're an operations agent whose role is to watch a dead letter queue for new errors that are raised from logic apps. Here's a copy of the error that was generated. So we'll grab the content. And then we're also going to just grab some metadata from the dead letter queue. We can include things like the original run ID where this failed, and also the workflow name that has failed. We'll then go ahead, log a ticket in ServiceNow. We'll fix the JSON and pass it to the appropriate tool to be validated. We will update the ServiceNow ticket just to indicate that the JSON's been fixed, and we'll include this as part of our work notes. We'll attempt to resubmit the fixed message using the resubmit tool, and then we'll go ahead and close the ServiceNow ticket using the ticket number that was generated in step 1. Lastly, we'll go ahead and send a notification to the integrations team's chat using Microsoft Teams. So here's all of our various tools where we can go ahead and leverage child workflows, or just using some built-in actions and connectors as a way to go ahead and accomplish that feat. So let's go into Service Bus, and we're going to go ahead and submit this message. Now you can see I'm just in VS Code right now, and the tool that I'm using can already detect that there's actually an issue with this particular JSON. It doesn't like that this is not escaped, this quote here, because you've got this sort of non-terminating string. So let's go ahead and submit this to Service Bus using the Service Bus Explorer tool. So we will go ahead and put this on a queue. Now, if we flip over to our workflow that's going to actually go ahead and process this message, or at least try to, we can see that it's failed. So it's gone ahead, it's dequeued. We're going to use a peak lock pattern. We're then going to go ahead and invoke a child workflow where we're going to send this message over. Now, what we can see, though, is that the service, the child workflow, has thrown an error back at us indicating that invalid JSON was received. So naturally, we don't want to go ahead and complete this message. We want to go ahead and dead letter it. Now, what we can also do is include some additional custom properties, such as the workflow name and the workflow run when that hits the dead letter queue. So let's go ahead over to our agent, and let's see how it did processing this. Okay, so it just finished. Now let's take a look at basically the plan and how we did against that. So we can see that we've got inbound information, right? This is the inbound information. We can see that we have the invalid JSON is here. The agent knows what it's supposed to go ahead and do. And what it's done first is created the ServiceNow incident. So that's great. We've got now a ticket number that we can use downstream. We also have a repaired JSON where we've now see that we've got an escaped character. So that's great. We can see that we've gone ahead and validated this JSON. So we've got a successful payload, and we'll go ahead and update ServiceNow because we want to make sure that we're tracking all of the activities that are taking place. We'll then go ahead and resubmit the tool, and we'll actually use the tool, the resubmit tool, and some of that metadata from the actual dead letter queue to actually determine which queue we need to put it back on. So we've got a little bit of a routing rule that takes place inside of there. Next up, we'll go ahead and close the ticket, and we will communicate all of this using Microsoft Teams. So we're now in Microsoft Teams. We can see that the workflow that caused the original issue is captured. We can see the run ID. So if we want to go back and inspect, we can go ahead and do that. We have a ticket number that has been logged here that ends in 45. And then we've just got a summary, the process status that the JSON's been resolved, validated, and resubmitted, and the ticket's been closed. Let's now go take a look at ServiceNow. Okay, we're in ServiceNow. Our ticket number ends in 045. We can see that this was opened. And what's also interesting is that in our tool, we specifically included functionality to assign it to the integration team. We have a description of exactly like when the issue occurred. We know what workflow was impacted. We also have the run ID captured here. We've also gone ahead and included the updated JSON where we can see that it's now been repaired. And we have resolution notes. So we've actually gone ahead and closed the case, and we can see that the status is set to closed, and we've got a resolution code of solution provided. So that wraps up this demo, and I think there's more opportunities to actually make this even more dynamic and include other scenarios around repair and resubmit as well.